What's going on, traders? How we doing? How we doing? Yes, yes. Cash me in. Another day, another profit here on Money Mitch. You guys see GNOG ripping through the roof. It's true. It's true. Finally, we've been watching this gambling sector, looking for it to make a move. And here you guys have it. The industry is making a move. GNOG, DKNG, RSI, GENI, PENN, Bally, GAN. We got so much we're going to get into. We got the DS earnings to talk about. DMS, another one that I want to talk about, had earnings. We're going to talk about some Lidar plays. Workhorse finally getting rid of some of Ride, and what industries look hot. Stay tuned right here on Money Mitch. Smash the like and let's get this party started. It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now, we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch. What's going on, traders? How was your trading day? Did you get into the green? I want to know what you were trading. What did you see out there? If you got a stock story, bring it up. This is what it's all about, right? You're at Money Mitch, and we're all about the story here. We're going to definitely be paying attention to the story that is gambling. And man, I think we're starting to see what I expected to see, which was a move going into the NFL season. And now we're starting to get that result. So let's go ahead and first let's get into market sentiment. Let's take a look here how we traded on the SPY and the sectors overall. Overall, we had, and I like to pay attention from the open, guys. So overall, from the open, we had healthcare lead us up about 0.27%. Then we got consumer defenses behind that, technology behind that. Our lagging sectors today were energy and industrials. Those are the ones that pulled back a little bit. It wasn't the biggest pullback. Industrials going down about 0.33%. So we're going to be paying attention to see what happened with those. But let's go to the SPY, see what we got on the daily. Did we get out of the range? We've been talking about this range. Can we get out of the SPY range? Now that we're starting to get back above this 441, we need to hold it on any pullbacks. I don't want to see a hard pullback to 440s, because if we pull back to 440s, we could get a pullback all the way down towards the 436.06 area. Let's go ahead and take a look also at the Qs like we like to do, see what we're getting in this action. Are we going to hold kind of this 9 EMA that we're seeing just right underneath it here? We really want to see a big push out towards 374. Some of these bigger tech names could lead us into that. We're going to be paying attention to see if some of these big boys get another rip. I would like to see Apple get another rip, as we've been kind of holding off here. You see, we've been going sideways in Apple. Can we get a push up towards 150? That'd be a good look for Apple and some of the tech names. All right, guys, how did we do in gambling? I know that you guys are probably looking at some of these. I mean, today we had the GNOG news. So let's take a look here, how it closed up and what happened to it, right? So what happened was really DraftKings acquired Golden Nugget Online Gaming in an all-stock deal. Really, Golden Nugget Online Gaming shareholders will receive 0.365 shares of DKNG for each GNOG shares they own. So essentially a buyout here. And we were seeing this happen. This wasn't the first one we saw. And man, did it make a nice move up there today, trading up there towards a high of 1920 and really opening up at 1225 on the day. This one really did spike, held sideways, and that's what we wanted to see. Not a bad move there in GNOG. I'm going to start taking a look at some of the other kind of gambling stocks here. DKNG did a good day also. Why? Because of the pullback. I really am watching this one more on an hourly. I'm actually in this one, guys, closer towards 50.35, so I'm not really mad right now on this pullback. I want to see if this get through 54, and then I think we could get up there towards 57 and 60s. I'm going to be looking to see if DKNG can get strong tomorrow and break through that 54 look. This is a good looking chart for me, especially on the hourly. Let's take a look at another stock that I took some profit in today. I took profits in RSI as we've been kind of breaking out from this 1050 area where I'm actually located, guys, near this circle right here. Now that we were breaking through that 1250s, I actually took some off there, really close to 20%, near my kind of reward that I wanted to get a minimum of 20 to 30% on this trade, as I even let it go down to a risk of 10%. But not mad at that right there. I get really close towards that 20%. I took it at 19.5. I'm not going to be mad. I took half of it off there. Going to let the rest of the half work here to see if we can get a rest of the move up there towards 14. And then I'd be taking off some more. Of course, this is RSI, Rush Street Interactive. I'm also holding GENI. I actually haven't sold any of this except just lowering down my position risk. But I'm going to be looking for this one to continue moving on up there towards 20. I'm in this one near 1680s. So I'm looking for this one to continue going up there towards 20. That's GENI. Also got a lift with the DKNG news last week. And let's take a look here at some of these leaders. How did PENN do today? PENN is really one that I'm watching on the hourly chart because it keeps trying to recover. It started from the 5th, where it spiked up here. Now it's gone on this sideways trend. I don't mind if it comes back towards 65, but we really need to hold this 63 on any downside actions. And I think we can get a spike through 75. That's what I would be paying attention to on PENN. Just to name a couple other ones here, Bally is one that I've given out on here multiple times. We gave this one out last Monday, and it's already moved about 13% since then. We're going to keep a watch on that. GAN is another one to keep on watch. I do like this weekly chart. If you see here on the weekly, you got that nice bottoming action near the 16 and 1550s. I don't mind if this one pulls back to, let's say, 1575s, 1550s. I'd be looking to actually get in this one and look for a push up to 18 and then from there to the 20s. This is GAN, GAN. And I could also see this one being a buyout potential also because it has a good tech stack. Let's go ahead and check up with the chat. How we doing with the chat? What's going on? How we doing? Hertz, Easy, Matt, Backyard. What's up, guys? We got Crypto Benjamin in the house. You traded your first option PLTR. Hey, congrats. I was actually looking at that one. I was even going to take a long on that. Money Mitch in the house. You know it. Thoughts on a GENI 20 call option? Not bad. The biggest thing is how far are you going to put it out on GENI? So if you're looking at maybe, let's say, January time, that's kind of what I would be looking at. At least give yourself a whole quarter for it to get towards that level. Don't try to really push on the time decay. If you like DraftKings, check out ATIG, OTC. I'll definitely take a look, Tim. Since it's OTC, I won't bring it up here, but I'll definitely take a look. Money Mitch, what's up? What's up? You're in a Lidar company. There you go. That's what I like to see, man. I was actually going to talk about some of these Lidar company. Innoviz is one of the top ones. I actually was keeping that one out because I've seen it run a decent amount, but that one's a really good one, Rich. I'm happy about that. I'm going to be talking about Lidar a little bit later today, so stick around. We'll get into that. Smash the like if this is your first time. Happy already knows. Let's keep it going. We're going to keep going and give you guys the best ideas that I can come up with and also try to get us to the trends, which is how we got to this. All right, let's take a look here. One last play I want to call out is SEAH. I'm looking to see if this one can start moving. As you guys can see on the weekly chart, it's setting up for a move. Now, this is Betway, guys. This hasn't really switched over. That's why I'm kind of watching this one. I think it's going to end up giving us a little spike, not the massive move that I could expect in the other gambling stocks, but definitely one to keep on play, because it's gone sideways here and not really giving us the reaction that the other ones gave us. So this is SEAH, also a SPAC, just to give you guys a heads up. But I definitely think it should be something on your radar. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk about some earnings plays that I've been watching. So earnings just came out on DS. You guys know that we talked about this one before when we saw this one go from the $2.99 spot all the way up here towards the $4 spot, which was a 40% breakout. Then we saw it pull back here, and we started really talking about this one again near 250s. As you guys can see, it popped up a little bit from that 250s and then eventually tried to break down below that, got quickly above it. Now we got some earnings out of Drive Shack. Let's take a look here at these earnings. They announced second quarter 2021 financial results and a preferred stock dividend for third quarter. They reported a total company revenue of $73.9 million, operating incomes of $1.1 million for the second quarter. The real interesting thing is that they're looking forward to introducing their first puttery location to the Dallas market in the coming weeks. So in the coming weeks, I expect to get that catalyst, right? They're going to put out some PR saying, hey, we got our puttery out. We got this and this. And I think that alone can give it some hype to start pushing it back up there towards that 350 price point. Of course, I would be looking for a pullback closer towards the 200-day moving average, which is sitting right now close towards that 270. So we're talking 275, 280s on the pullbacks. But I could see this one making a move on up there back towards the $4. It's going to be an interesting one. They do have a long-standing partnership with Roy McIlroy and his team to continue further growing the puttery brand in the coming years. They also announced the fifth location for their puttery. So they keep adding locations, taking more risk here to go ahead and get that growth that the company needs to really give it that lift. So this is DS Drive Shack, competition to Eli and Top Golf. So I'm going to keep watching this one. Not a bad one to keep an eye out. So DMS is the next one up here. DM earnings Wednesday. Yeah, DM earnings are Wednesday. Fan of RSI. There you go. That's what I like to hear. Definitely, I'm a fan of Nicola DeMasi. I'll tell you that much. Let's go ahead and take a look here at DMS. This is another SPAC that I'm going to call out. I'm going to be watching this one as they had good earnings. Let's take a look here at their earnings. They announced record-breaking quarter for Q2 2021 revenue and a gross profit margin and adjusted EBITDA increase. The revenues of $105 million and adjusted revenues of $109.3 million, up $29.9 million and $32.5 million year over year. Their net income of $4.9 million compared to a net income of $2.1 million in the second quarter of 2020. What I want to pay attention to in this company is really that they announced their future 2021 revenue guidance of 438 to 447 million, and they reiterated their adjusted revenue guidance of 455 to 465 million. So we're really seeing a good financial number here. Now the technicals don't match the earnings, right? They don't match the fundamentals. The story is there with programmatic, but one of the things with programmatic is that we've been seeing a pullback. We can take a look at some of these names like PubM. You can take a look at Trade Desk, the leader here. You see how this one's kind of the only one that's been really making its way back here since June. But if we look at also at MGNI, that's another one in this sector. You see how they're right off support? I kind of like these right now. I'm going to keep an eye on them. I'm waiting for the rotation to come into them, but these are interesting plays. And with a good earnings report and the stock going down towards the 52-week low, that's what I'm going to be looking for in this stock. I'm going to be looking for a push down towards 7. If I can get a push down towards 7, I'll start sizing in and try to give us like maybe a $1 risk underneath it. And we can see this one trend back up. This is DMS, Digital Media Solutions. What's going on? How are we doing out there? If you guys got a stock you guys want me to take a look at, definitely mention it in the chat. I'm going to start getting into our next segment. Our next segment is going to be about some Lidar plays. And if you like Lidar plays, let me know in the chat which one is your favorite. Put the ticker in the chat. If you like some EV, you like the technology behind it, put those tickers in the chat. I'll definitely start going through it. Mitch might get his wish. AMC. Ooh, AMC. I'll tell you one thing. We're going to be going through the earnings of AMC just after this. At 4:45, we're going to start a stream. We're going to be talking to some AMC. So easy. You might want to head on over there in a second. Tried to get Curaleaf, but couldn't. Hey, don't worry. Something always happens, man. One thing I'll tell you is that when you miss opportunities, don't stress out. Just go ahead and realize it's just a missed opportunity. It's going to happen. one thing that we need to do as traders is improve on our decision-making process. This is what trading really is all about. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about learning how to create decisions from our process and make educated guess. That's all it really is. It's just an educated guess with a process, and then you're going to go ahead and stay to some rules, and that's what you call a trading system. At the end of the day, no trading system tells you whether it's right or wrong. It just puts you in the probability. All right, let's go ahead. Let's talk a little bit about these Lidar plays. I'm going to go ahead. And the reason I want to bring this up, guys, is that the same way that I looked at gambling, I'm starting to look at Lidar. And so one of the things that I try to do is try to be in front of the trends, right? And so when you're in front of the trends, sometimes you're going to be a little bit early, but I would much rather be early than late. So one thing that I'm watching for is for Lidar to come back into play, not necessarily EVs. I'm really watching Lidar plays because they've been going down and downtrending for at least over 3 months. With that being said, I'm going to be looking to get a basket of these. I don't want to just have one, because if I just have one, I lower down the probability that I'm going to get into success and get that return that I'm looking for. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a basket of these, 5, 6 names. You can even go up to like 10 names and try to average in with that capital in between all the names so that when one does good, you can go ahead and still make a profit. Yes, will this limit your returns? Yeah, it's going to limit your returns by doing the basket approach, but it also limits the risk. This is what I like to do. So I did this with sports and I had a good basket and it did me well. Now I'm saying to do the same kind of play with Lidar. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these plays. YOLO is not a system. Well, it is a system, but the question is, does it get you money? YOLO is just YOLO, man. Hit that like for the basket. Let's go ahead and let's get into it. So some of these that you could take a look at, LAZR. You got Lumineer Technology. Look how the 200-day moving average is above it. Look how you got some weekly support right underneath it. And so with this being said, I do like this name, and we could start attacking this and start trying to add off of weekly supports on these stocks. So you're trying to get these weekly supports with the risk right underneath it and giving yourself an ability to look for that return. We're looking to get it right off of that kind of support here, right off of, let's say, 1728, and look for it to come working its way back. It's all about risk and return on these. So if we're going to get that box, and then let's go ahead and let's get a bunch of these, not just one of them. And so if one of the trades goes wrong, we can go ahead and still receive the prize. Like, look at this VLDR. It's really pounded on, and you can see the RSI. It tried to break here, the RSI, multiple times. It popped up for a second, bounced off the RSI again, giving you that good sign that you're finding some bottoming action here. And then you can always use those lows to just go off of. I do like this one also, VLDR. And I also like OUST, Alster, also kind of same looking chart off those supports. Long-term plays that I'm looking here, but I think this one's can really start trending. And if you look the weeklies, and that's what I'm looking at right now, guys, you're going to be able to find the supports and really start attacking those supports. So we'll see if these baskets work, but definitely. There you go. I'm seeing some names being mentioned in the chat. VLDR in the chat. FRSSK, that one's not a bad one. LAZR, that's not a bad one. We just talked about 2 of those. AEVA is another one that I'm going to be watching to see when this one could find a support. Looks like it's touched multiple times 850s. I would like to try again to get to 850s. And if it can't hold that, then next stop is 8. But it needs to hold that first and give you that turnaround look on AEVA. But these are a bunch of Lidar plays that I'm going to start dipping my toes, trying to get the basket. So when the basket moves on up, or one of them gets a buyout, or one of them, let's say, gets some good catalyst and really starts getting into one of these vehicles, you start reaping the benefits of the industry versus just one name. All right, let's go ahead and catch up with the chat. What are you guys talking about? Smash that like. If you guys like anything in the chat, let me know. I'll start getting into that. All right. I like trading VWAP reversals. I can't blame you on that, Anthony. I've never traded the reversals too much, but I can tell you I've traded the downside action and the top side action. So I don't blame you on those reversals. All right. Go ahead. Glad to know you're not alone. You're never alone, Theater. You're never alone, man. That's what we're here for. All right. So you've been on arrival. Theater guy says he's been on arrival. I'm definitely going to be paying attention to that. Backyard, you like the basket system? I definitely like the basket system. It just gives you a limited risk, and then it at least limits your upside. But I mean, the main thing I think in trading is always managing your risk and learning to make profits consistent, right? I mean, anyone can make one-time gainer. The question is, can you repeat that 20 times? And if it is a process that you can repeat 20 times, one of the things you want to look at is, do I need to expand to get some more return, or do I need to limit the risk so that I can just keep playing these plays and just, rinse, wash, and repeat, wash, rinse, and repeat. I put that one on the screen, Rich, but I can't blame you either. At the end of the day, you can't dwell on your trades. You just got to keep moving. You got to work the probability. Probability is the game. All right, guys, we're getting a couple microvast comments here. Let's take a look here. Microvast is also one to definitely keep on watch. Has been starting to uptrend. Went down towards that $9. Now up there towards 14. I think you could get a little bit of a pullback closer towards 12. But definitely one to keep on watch. It has a lot of backing behind it, and I would keep watch. I would look for a pullback, try to catch it off of a weekly pullback towards support, not a breakout of the weekly, trying to push on the resistance. What's up with SMG? SMG is not a bad one. That's what the Scott's Miracle Grow. Scott's Miracle Grow. Hey, it's been definitely retracing here. I would say it's coming back down towards that 200-day moving average. I would look for 125s on this stock, and it kind of makes sense. I mean, you're talking about kind of like a 50% pullback. Yeah, look for a 50% pullback from the highs. So 125 is the levels that I would be looking for on SMG. At least that's what I see on the chart right off the back. All right, guys, so how we doing? I just went through some Lidar plays. Smash the like if you guys enjoyed getting into some industry like we did talk about some Lidar. If you guys like the basket approach, if you don't like the basket approach, please let me know in the chat. I want to know what your thinking is, because that's what it's all about. We're all growing together. I'm growing with you guys, and I'm still pushing on this basket approach because I always think that it's about trading with the herd and being in front of the trend. Let's go ahead, smash that like. Manos de papel. What's going on with DKNG? I'm holding. That's what's going on. I still think it's going up, and that's why I'm in it myself, guys. I'm in at 50.35s, and I expect DKNG to continue making moves on its way up. All right, so I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about what happened here. Let me go ahead and pull this up. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about what happened in WKHS. So they started selling some shares of Ride. I think this is an actual good thing for the company because they need to go ahead and separate themselves from this company. And I'm going to go ahead and show you right here. This is Ride and WKHS. Actually, it's impressive that they actually wanted to sell some out, but I think when you go ahead and you keep getting dealt with this company, like they keep essentially trading with this company, they wanted to get themselves away from it. I think this is a good thing. Now let's see if it can come back towards that 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average is at $7.06. I'm going to think that's going to be the bottom here if it gets towards those levels. And I would like to see that pull back so that we can find that bottom and then start trending back up on the monthlies. So I think we're going to come back down closer towards this $7 level, and I'll be looking for that for WKHS to start turning around. All right, so let's go ahead and let's catch up with the chat. What are you guys talking about? I got November calls for DKNG that are banking. Hey, Jar Jar, I can't blame you. I mean, that's definitely a good move to be in. Theater guys, who wants to talk about the basket equal number of shares or equal dollar value? Great question there, theater guy. So what I would do is like this. So when I approach a basket, I approach the capital that I want in each play. So I always want to kind of separate my plays evenly unless I have absolute high conviction in one play. But most of the time, it's going to be an even separation of capital. And it's not going to be by a number of share size, because share size times the price is going to give us a different amount of capital into the trade. We want to use the same amount of capital into the trade. So let's say if you could only get, sometimes you're going to be able to get, let's say, 10 shares of RSI, but then you can only get maybe 1 or 2 shares of DKNG. That's normal. You got to play with the market and cap that you have and you're putting into it. The capital that you're putting into it, just separate it out into the basket. This is going to help you in the long run. You don't need all of them to go up. You don't need one to do amazing. And this is the real truth, is that you can start relaxing. And then if something happens like GNOG where it gets that monster rip, boom, you can sell into that rip. And then eventually you got yourself the gain, even if the other ones go into the red. Even if they, for some reason, go into the red, you got that big gain, which pushed you into the green. And then from there on, you can watch your other plays and manage them. How do you decide the sector or niche for your basket picks? It's all about social trend, and it's all about timing. You're never going to be perfectly right, but I'm always looking for the social trend on what's going to come. So with gambling, I was looking for football coming in and a lot of this kind of hype going around gambling, also for the commercials to start coming out, because they need a push to get as much promo into gambling around this time. So for Lidar, what am I looking for? So the story there is that I'm expecting to hear more and more out of the infrastructure bill that should support that kind of process and build those technologies up, because I think that's really what takes EV to the next level. Another thing that I'm looking for is to see if some of these companies start getting bought out by bigger companies, because I think that's what's going to happen. There's going to be some consolidation, and that could also boost the story back. So you want to go ahead and try to be forward looking on the trends. Not that you're always going to be right, but at least if you're looking forward, guess what the market does? It looks forward also. So I try to do the same and try to get on the industries in the future. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to be wrapping up here. It's around 4:34. We got about 10 minutes left. I want to start looking at what industries are hot. I want to also take a look at any stocks that you guys have in the chat today. So if you guys have a chat there, definitely let a stock in the chat that you guys want me to take a look at. Definitely let me know, and I'll definitely start running through some of these sectors and industries. First things first, let's go through some of the ones that I talked about on my Money Mitch podcast this morning. I have a daily podcast, guys, that come out at 9 a.m. You can find it anywhere that you'd watch your podcast. Just look Money Mitch daily watch list. It'll be right there. Let's take a look here. Solar was what I brought up this morning. Of course, I brought the gambling sector up, but I was watching to see if solar was going to start making its move. And we got a nice daily candle to recover there. I did like that daily candle. If we take a look here at some of these moves, iSun started getting a nice lift. Good push up there towards 975. You got Run. You got Run coming back here. JKS also making a big push back up. You got Soul, Beam, BEEM. I like these. They're starting to really push back up. Keep your eyes on it. Max N, super big bottom there at 1495. I'm going to be seeing if this one can get strong through 1650s tomorrow. If this one gets strong through 1650s, I might be long on Max N. We'll see if that one can continue moving. Sun Power, you also see it starting to come back. Find a bottom here at 23. Let's see if it comes pushing back through 25 tomorrow. That's what we would like to see on a big move up from Sun Power. So this is the solar area. I'm going to keep watching. I've been waiting for them to turn around. I have that feeling that they're going to start getting this move. So I'm going to keep a close eye on these. First Solar also pushing back. We want to see this one get above 95 and start pushing towards 100. All right, catching up with the chat. What do you got? Tan's your bucket in solar. Yeah, Tan's not a bad one, but the problem with Tan is that, I mean, I just don't see too much return when this one moves. But I mean, if you held it through this time, of course, I mean, that was making a big move. But I haven't been playing the ETF too much here. And maybe that's the better play. I mean, I don't think it's bad to play ETFs. I just think I tried to pick some winners here, but I can't blame you for picking that ETF. Mike talking about Tan also. Not a bad one. 250 people watching, only 18 likes. Come on, guys. Do you want me to get on out of here? I'll end the day. I mean, I could just do my analysis on my own, try to make some more trades, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do, guys. I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I go through this, is because at the end of the day, I'm going to be making some more trades. I'm going to be trying to make some money. Mitch got you on Spotify. Let's take a look at the spot. All right, so let's take a look here at the weekly on spot. I like this approach. It's starting to come back towards these levels. Let's see if it gets another lift. This one has been getting hit, so I'm not too sure if it's going to hold here, the 200s. We'll see if it kind of holds. It does have a nice push off the RSI down here in early kind of May, but we got to hold these levels. I'm not liking where it's at right now. Shopify is one that's been going on up. We'll see if this one continues a push on up. This one has made a nice lift, and I'll see if it can continue trending on up. One that I will bring up, D-Nut, the Krispy Kreme. I think it found the bottom, guys. I think it found the bottom. Pay attention to this one. I have a feeling you could see a runner in D-Nut. It's going to be a meme kind of run if it does get running, but keep your eyes on it. It did make a nice lift today. You already know the bark. AMC earnings reported. AMC's earnings reported. No. All right, let's take a look here at the chart. See how it's moving. Boom, baby. We're going on up. Moving on up. We're up there towards 37, guys. We're actually going to be putting the earnings call, as you guys can see, from about 439. It's really been pushing on up there. Has a nice lift. It's already made an 8% move from kind of the breakout there. I'd look for a pullback to see if it comes back to 35.50s, but it looks like it wants to get up there towards 39 and 39.25s. Really starting to push on up. Not a bad trade if you got it going into the close. Looks like the earnings is out. I need to go ahead and bring my Benzinga Pro here and check out these earnings. Let's go ahead, AMC. See what we got. All right, looks like they're reporting their earnings. I don't get much from there. Might have to look at the press release here. Let's take a look here. All right. I might actually have to go to the investor presentation here. Oh, they're just talking about join the webcast. Join the webcast. What? We can do that here. We're going to actually be putting it on in just 5 minutes, guys. You guys can learn a little bit more about the AMC earnings. I'm sure Spencer will be going over and reviewing this and also talking about the move. But I wanted to get into kind of revenues tripled on AMC. There you go. And they beat estimates. That I can definitely see from the movement there. Theater guy has it right there. Not a bad one there. Hey, I'm going to be watching this. It's going to definitely be the hype, but I definitely don't think I'd be trading this one. It's just too much up and down action on this one for me to kind of trade here. The risk would be really high, but not a bad little scalp if you scalped it today into the close and just get this spike and just kind of sell right into it. I can't blame you for taking that kind of profits. All right, let's go ahead and see what other stock was mentioned here before I get on out of here. I want to at least hit up one or two. Melly over Shop. Definitely Melly's been performing. Shop was kind of the first runner, so I can see how Melly could outperform it now. I'm going to go ahead and pay attention. I meant your podcast. No worries. We'll get into that. What else we got here? Tesla robots coming in 2 weeks. I'm going to be paying attention to the Tesla robots, I guess. SDC, 52-week low, hurts. I got to tell you, man, I don't even want to talk about Smile Direct. I don't even want to talk about this, man. Everyone in my company does not like me because I don't like Smile Direct Club, because I think someone else in my company likes him. But man, I just don't know about this chart. I'll just say that I just don't know, Hertz. I think this one keeps coming back down. Not my kind of company, not my cup of tea. Let's just say that. It looks like they're trading lower after the company reported worse than expected Q2 EPS earnings, sales results, and issued future 21 sales guidance below estimates. Yeah, let's just say you guys can buy the stock. I probably wouldn't even take the shares. But let's go ahead. Let's wrap it up here. My thoughts. My thoughts on the MindMed. Richie's talking about lose every time I buy SDC. Maybe let's just put that one in the no trade pile, and then we can leave that one to itself. Of course, I also saw movement today in stocks like Plug, FSIL. Take a look at those. I would definitely take a look. Fuel Cell Energy, Plug Powers. I think those could really start moving. So I'm going to be watching those coming into the next couple of days. We'll see if those kind of make a nice big push. CLSK made a big push with the Bitcoin move. This is another one that I think could get running. CLSK. We already saw BTBT make big moves, but who knows? This one could be up at 1750 by tomorrow. I'm going to keep a watch on this one. This one definitely gets kind of the hype behind it. So this is CLSK Clean Spark. And they do have earnings, it looks like, on August 16 after the close. So paying attention to that, I think we could get a run into the earnings. Had a big push today. We'll see if this can continue to make a move. All right, going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Up next, we got some AMC earnings to talk about. Where are the apes? Yes, the Planet of the Apes is out. The question is, are the earnings good there? Find out just next. After this stream, you got Spencer, Aaron Bry is going to go ahead and be on there too. You guys will talk about some AMC, go into the earnings, and not only do that, but you're going to get the earnings call right at 5 o'clock. So stay tuned, guys. We'll bring you right to that. Like always, I'm going to keep going into this. I talked today about some gambling stocks, DS earnings, DMS earnings, Lidar plays, basket plays, really what that's all about, guys. Let's learn how to try to attack in a basket versus trying to just attack a single name. This is going to give you less volatility and go ahead and give you a chance to lower your risk. Yes, you have a limited upside, but I would rather have a more consistent upside approach that's going to give me those gains that I'm looking for. Like always, smash the like, hit the share button down below, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern right here on Benzinga. And like always, guys, Money Mitch.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now, we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.